Guys of a Certain Age is brought to you by no one. Absolutely no one. Except these dudes walking down memory lane. Now let's head to the studio to see what they misremember next.
And we're back. It's the podcast. It's the Choose Your Own Adventure podcast where the listener gets to decide who's the superhero and who's the sidekick. I'm Jay Reed here in the studio. It's guys of a certain age, by the way. Did I say that?
You
it's
did not. You said we're back.
We're back. We're guys of a certain age who sometimes forget the name of our podcast. So I'm Jay Reed, and I'm in the studio today here with
Art Shirley.
All right. So
Podcast man.
Podcast.
Thank you, old chum. I don't know who the viewers or listeners, rather, will decide is the superhero or not, but it's good to be with you, mentoring you as I do.
I think you have steered the audience a tad, but it's all true.
Citizens can make up their own mind, Jay. I gave your secret identity away.
Holy sidekick, podcast man. I think we've decided.
Yep,
that's okay.
It's Robbie.
Well, that's kind of been my thing, though. I've always been, even in high school when there were elections for school, student body stuff, I always wanted to be vice president. I never really wanted to be president. And throughout my career, even professionally, I never really aspired to be in charge. I want to be the assistant manager or the staff pharmacist rather than the pharmacist in charge. So it's just kind of a theme in my life.
I see that. Yeah, okay, good deal. So nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But anyway, so what's going on? Anything exciting in your life right now?
No, absolutely nothing exciting right now. We're dealing with a mole problem at home, but I'm hoping we're starting to.
We should have that looked at by a dermatologist.
Yes, that's right. It's not that kind of mole. It's the creepy crawly kind. So, grind.
I have not had to deal with that in a long time, and I think even when I did, I was in somebody else's yard, like somewhere else I was living. So I haven't had to fool with that. Because isn't there, you're kind of in the ag world. Aren't there rules about what you can do as far as being humane and not humane? And so I think there's some solutions that are less humane than others.
Well, you can put poison out. The only thing they really say about that is make sure that you keep pets away from it. The thing we're doing is spraying to kill the grubs or earthworms that they eat, and that if there's no food source, they will move along.
Okay.
I've tried the vibrating solar powered. This might be my last podcast. Solar powered panel vibrating sticks. I've got 4 of those, and I think all I'm doing is chasing them around to other parts of the yard.
Okay.
So, anyway,
is it like you walk around and you accidentally step in a hole because they've made a tunnel? Is that kind of how you?
Well, we can see the tunnels. It's kind of like a cartoon. You see a little bit raised earth and stuff, but then you'll be walking and all of a sudden you're in this soft ground. I haven't really fallen and
sprained an ankle.
Yeah, sprained an ankle, but you do sink down a lot. Yeah, so it's kind of. And we've got a brick walkway part of our yard. Part of it's in concrete, but another part of it is just in dirt, and. I've got bricks that have popped up, and I've got bricks that have sunk down.
So now they're going to meddling.
Yes. Now that's when they got. I was okay with them up until that point.
Right.
But they've kind of destroyed the
now
yard.
It's actual war.
Yeah, that's actual war. So humane is not necessarily my first priority, but so far we have tried to do it humanely. Otherwise, you get what's called a scissor trap, and you set it up along their tunnels.
Along the path.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've heard it here. You've learned all about mole eradication, or you send them over to the neighbor's yard.
That's right.
Basically, is what it amounts to. All right. So, what about Geeks of the Week? Would you like to go first?
Yeah, I'll go
Since
first.
We're kind of. Oh, by the way, we're out without Robbie today. I can't remember which city he's in. Is it New Orleans right now?
I don't know.
He's in a major city doing a major project.
Okay.
We'll leave it at that.
Okay. Otherwise, we'd have to kill you.
For which he may get a major award.
That's right. I was going to tell you about a new Star Trek series. Today, September 8th, I think it is, was Star Trek Day. It actually marks the 59th anniversary of the debut of the original series.
Okay. So
first broadcast episode of that. Next year will be the 60th anniversary, so they're planning big things there.
Okay.
As we record tonight, the season finale of Star Trek Strange New Worlds will come out.
I was wondering, I thought maybe I knew it said coming Thursday. I kind of looked last night to see if it was.
I know, I did too.
A sneak.
Maybe I did too. I was because that would have been a perfect night for me to watch it tonight. I've got a play I'm going to tonight, so I won't be able to see it until Friday. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's been an interesting season. I've enjoyed it. I know it's been kind of divisive for fans. Some episodes more than others, and I'm sure because you're caught up now too.
Yeah, I'm
right?
caught up.
And
I'm ready.
I think Robbie's pretty well caught up. So maybe the next podcast or two we can do a recap of that. But anyway,
so something new coming.
The Geek that I have is there's a new audio series that came out September 8th, and it's called Star Trek Khan. Khan, based on the character played by Ricardo Montalban in the original series,
in the Wrath of.
and in the Wrath of Khan. The story is written by Nicholas Meyer, who was the director for Star Trek Wrath of Khan, which is to me still not only the best Star Trek movies, but just one of my favorite movies. I think it's really good. And the story is about what happens between the incidents of the original series and then when they find Khan again in Star Trek Wrath of Khan as they're settling SETI Alpha 5.
Okay.
And so I'm looking forward to seeing that. It's available. It's going to come out weekly. I think there's probably 10 episodes thereabout. And then it's available whenever you find your fine podcast.
So it's like a podcast then?
It is a podcast, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, when I first saw it, I thought they were doing like another TV series, but I think probably the next series they do, if the fans are all correct in our wishing, will be the original series reboot. But anyway, this would be interesting. It's got Naveen Andrews is playing Khan. He was in Lost. You've also got George Takei and Tim Russ. George Takei, the Sulu from the original, he's playing the commander or the captain of the Excelsior, which he played in the movies. And then Tim Russ, who played Tuvok on Voyager, is playing a younger version of Tuvok, and he's an ensign, I think, or lieutenant on Sulu's ship.
I've watched very little, honestly, between the original series and this current one. I watched a little bit of the one that Luke Picard was in, Jean-Luc Picard, but I really haven't kept up with a lot of the other side series. So
yeah.
But I listen to, as we've discussed before, I've listened to podcasts and stuff, like the Batman audio adventure stuff. So if it's to that quality, which if it's got George Takei in it, I mean, you would think it would be that quality. I'm listening to one now, High Noon, DC High Noon, not High Noon, High Volume.
Okay.
That's a Batman series, and it's okay.
Some of those are really good, and some of those are just not that good.
Right. Yeah. And this one's kind of, I would put it second tier under the audio adventures. To me, is
it's a standard.
It's a standard.
I think so too.
But I have listened to some that are less. So I hope this Star Trek one, I would definitely listen to that, even if I didn't know the characters.
And I don't think it's going to matter. I mean, you're probably familiar enough with Khan just from what you've, even if you haven't watched. Have you watched Wrath of Khan?
I'm sure I have, but it's been forever. Yeah.
But anyway, I don't think it's going to. I think there will be a lot. I would imagine there'd be a lot of Easter egg kind of things for true fans.
Yeah, right.
But I think the story's going to be such that you don't necessarily have to have a real deep knowledge of that. I would imagine so. But we'll check it out.
If it's a well done story, it'll be interesting either way. Cool. Well, that'll be my next thing.
Yeah, Star Trek Con.
Star Trek Con. So it's not like Con like
Comic
Con.
Not like a Comic Con or.
Speaking of Star Trek, have you seen? I think it's the movie. Is it Section 31? Something like that.
I watched half of that and couldn't get through it.
Okay, I was wondering because I just saw it advertised and it looked like the actress. Is it Michelle Yeoh?
Yes.
Was in it, so that
which I thought that would be great.
Yeah,
and it's kind of very much
a spy thing,
it's a
almost
spy
right?
with a little bit of Ocean's 11 in it. There's a little bit of a theft caper in there as well. And I really thought it would be interesting, and I probably need to give it a second chance. But it was, it kind of felt like Star Trek in name only, and didn't really feel very Star Trek.
I'll put it on my to-watch list after.
But I mean, I wasn't even able to get through it, so that's unusual for me.
Okay, well that's.
And it's just a movie; it's not even a series.
Yeah. Well, I thought that might be easier to digest.
Well, I did
could watch a 2-hour movie.
I did too, and I was like, wow, this is just not, Anyway, I'm going to give it another shot. Okay. What's your Geek of the Week?
My Geek is going to be semi-related to what we're going to talk about after the break, and this just popped across the other day, and I have to give you a little background. The Geek is that Sean Cassidy, former Hardy Boy, former singer, or not former singer. That's kind of the point.
Sings. Yes,
he's still touring.
Really?
Yes, he's got apparently right now he's on his quote biggest tour ever. I don't know how it popped up on my radar, but it popped up on Instagram, and he was announcing that he had added a bunch of shows to his tour. I think the closest one to us is New Orleans at the House of Blues down there. But I had this interesting history with Sean Cassidy because I was a fan of the Hardy Boys as as a book for sure. And then when the Hardy Boys series came out, I watched it, so I knew him from that. And then when he started singing, he's on the front of every teen magazine and girls, all that. But I think I just followed along. Oh, Sean Cassidy, the Hardy Boys, Sean Cassidy sings. Let's get the tape. And so I have a very vivid memory of going to Walmart with my folks when it came out. Cassette tape was the medium of choice, and I found it. I asked my folks, "Can I get it?" Because I was that young. However old I was, young teen at best, no driver's license, but had a cassette player. And I just begged for it, and we're not going to get that tonight. Yeah. And I was not happy. I was kind of angry, and I remember going home and kind of stomping upstairs to my room, and then doing whatever sulking I did up there, and then all of a sudden from downstairs I hear Sean Cassidy singing "The Do Run Run Run." Really? And my dad had bought the tape for me.
No kid.
And so I don't know. It's sort of a weird lesson, I didn't actually have a tantrum in Walmart, but I was very unhappy about not getting something, and he got it for me anyway. So, if kids are listening, that is not the way to do it. But in this one case in my life,
it worked.
So
that is too funny, though.
I still got the tape somewhere. I didn't have time to look for it this morning. But anyway, if you want to get a new tape or vinyl or whatever he's selling at his merch table, he's touring right now.
That's interesting.
And you would recognize him, I think, on the street. Just
I've seen pictures.
Gray hair, not as long. But
his brother David Cassidy, who was part of the Partridge Family, and he passed away, several years ago now. I think Sean has managed to keep kind of a level head. He got involved in producing and was involved in some really cool shows that are in our genre, and I can't remember any of them now, but we can look it up and see what he did at some point. But so that's great. And I would like the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew too. I thought those were just a lot of fun. And you can still find them on Peacock, and I'll watch those occasionally just to kind of go back and see what it's like, and they hold up pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, as well as they held up then. He was the younger
one, which I think is Joe.
Yeah, and Frank was the Parker Stevenson?
Yes,
is that right?
Yes.
I can't believe I remember that.
I was searching for it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And I think he's still around. But I don't think he didn't do much anything after that. He was on Baywatch for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like he kind of made guest appearances in things like, Love Boat and places like that needed special guests.
Married to Kirstie Alley.
Oh, gosh.
Who was also in Star Trek. Wrath of Khan.
Parker Stevenson was married to Kirstie Alley.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
We won't say that she made a special thank you to him when she won an Emmy for Cheers, but we won't repeat that here.
Okay.
For Mrs. Reed and for others.
Okay. All right. So when we come back, we're going to talk about other cool experiences. All right, and we're back. And this topic today I want to talk about is we've talked a lot about my collecting.
Yes.
Collecting, not hoarding, all the things. But I've kind of shifted a little bit.
Okay. In what way?
In my thinking. And we've talked a bit about this. I'm not going to dwell on the things we talked about before, but a couple of Christmases ago, I told Melissa, and I had been in before this even, I had gotten her like tickets to a concert for Christmas.
Yes.
And been kind of looking for different things we'd go to. I surprised her with a Stephen Curtis Chapman concert one weekend. She didn't know we were going. And Chris Tomlin, we did that. Tried to find things that she would enjoy. And then I kind of began to look at myself. And so what would I rather have, a gadget, a shirt, something new at Christmas, or would I rather have a concert ticket? And so the Jimmy Buffett was on my bucket list.
Yes.
And I told her that's what I wanted. So she looked around, couldn't find anything that was anywhere nearby, but kind of gave me a gift certificate for a concert of my choice. And Jimmy Buffett passed away a few months later.
I thought I remembered that he passed away before you got to see him.
Right. So I never got to see him, but I thought that kind of triggered me to, in a good way, to say, okay, who else might be out there? And of course, there's lots of groups touring, like Kansas is touring now, and Robbie's going to see them in January, and I'm looking at the possibility of that. All these old groups, even though they might not be the original members, or generally aren't, you can still go and see and hear that old music that you like. So that year, I ended up going to see Lyle Lovett.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
And again, as I've said, I was looking through Lyle's schedule, and it was all Texas, 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 and then it said Oxford in the middle of all that.
Oxford.
So I got to see him.
I had forgotten that.
At the concert center. I forget the name of it is escaping me, but
the Ford Center.
The Ford Center.
Yeah,
he was at the Ford Center in Oxford at Ole Miss, and so I got to see him there, and it was a terrific concert. Just met my expectations. But Lyle Lovett is not a young fellow.
No,
and he's a guy of a certain age.
Yes.
And as wonderful as it was, you could tell, his voice wasn't quite
right.
the same as it was, and so I got to thinking further, who else might be? Who do I need to see now in order to do this? And so I've kind of gone wild with trying to see as many people as I can right now, because it's not so much that I'm worried that I'm going to pass away. I'm just worried that voices and people that I want to see are not going to be touring much longer. So this has just kind of got me on a quest to see who kind of find it all. So just to give an example, last month for my birthday, this is not somebody who's going away anytime soon, but I went to see Ben Rector and Switchfoot open for him, and it was terrific. Just Birmingham Coca-Cola Amphitheater. It was great. Terrific concert. And Melissa was not that all enthralled with either of those artists, but she loved it because of the musicianship of the guys that were playing.
Yeah.
So it turned out to be a good thing for both of us. By the way, I will say, I don't know if she'll even listen to this, but she's been very generous to let me do these things. Right. So then this coming weekend, we're going up to South Haven, and we will see James Taylor.
Oh, okay.
What
night is that?
Saturday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
My sister Beth and one of her daughters are going to see that.
Okay, so that's at the Bank Plus Amphitheater up there in South Haven, so I'll keep an eye out for them.
Have you seen him before?
I have not.
Yeah, I've seen him 2 or 3 times, I think. Yeah.
Yes, I've never seen him.
Really, really good.
And he's somebody that I've been watching out for. And, he was going to be in Birmingham, I think, last night.
Yeah.
And but it just didn't work out for work.
Well, actually, they probably went last night because she went with her daughter that lives in Birmingham. So I think she went.
They may have gone last night then. Yeah. So Birmingham was sort of my first choice.
Yeah.
And then I think he was actually in Brandon a couple of years ago, but that didn't work out either. So he's one that I've really been watching for. So we're going to do that, and then as I was Melissa and I were talking the other night about all these things, and she was kind of like putting the brakes on, just for all the activity, because there is a sort of balance between doing stuff like this and then being away for a weekend or whatever, even for a long night, and then getting stuff done at home. So that's kind of where I have to watch, and she's been a good gauge for that.
Yeah.
So for the next few months, we've kind of got like one thing a month. So September is been that. I wanted to go see Wicked, but I couldn't squeeze that in.
Is that at the Orpheum?
In Birmingham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. BJCC or whatever they call it.
Okay.
So then in October, we have our yearly Southern Foodways Alliance meeting, and it just happened that John Crist, the comedian, is going to be in Birmingham the night before that event starts. So
he's good. He's funny.
Yeah, and then November, a guy named David Wilcox. He's a folk singer from Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah, I don't know him.
He's going to be in Birmingham, and he's another one that when Melissa and I were dating and our first year of marriage, lived in Asheville, we saw him several times, and I just love his music, and it's very very mountain folk kind of stuff, and so he's going to be in Birmingham. So that's going to be our November trip. And then we'll kind of press pause after that, because then comes the holidays and Christmas. But But the whole point is I'm trying to think, what do I need? Not really need, but what would I like to do and see and experience rather than accumulate stuff.
Yeah, right.
Stuff is not, there's nothing wrong with stuff. And I was thinking about some stuff, if you get a T-shirt from a concert or something, then that it connects you to that memory, to that experience. So I'm sure I've heard you talk about stuff. Going to Vegas.
Yeah, and that's
Phil and
going to Vegas with Phil, and then Becky and I have been very intentional about trying to take trips. When our younger son Drew moved to just north of Seattle, Washington, that's kind of become our trip. But it started with a trip to Seattle with the boys, Becky and me, and we'd never been there. We wanted to go. They've got a friend that works at the same place Drew does now, and so we thought, they could go see him, and we could go do some stuff. And then we just kind of realized we'd actually taken a trip to Boston and Maine a few years ago and just realized there are a lot of places that we've never seen. We've been to New York several times. We love New York, but we wanted to do something different. So we started to kind of start to, again, think, where do we want to go? What are some places? And we've been to Charleston, been to New Orleans several times too, and love that. But yeah, it kind of got to be the thing where let's do a trip rather than, stuff. We still do a lot of stuff.
Right.
But, and the other part of it too, and some of that may have been, we had not moved by the time that we did that, but once we did move and had to go through and throw out a bunch of stuff, we realized, man, we've got too many material things here. We need to kind of cut back on that. Unfortunately, we've added back to it. But I do think that there's no substitute for, and that's one thing, as we kind of look at retiring, and Becky's announced her retirement already. It'll happen next year sometime. And some advice we're seeing, we're both 63, and they're saying, people overestimate the health they're going to be in when they retire if they wait to retire, and that these things that you want to do, you may not be in shape to do them. I don't know that we're in shape to do them now. So that's kind of been a wake-up call for us to say, hey, look, maybe that's something we should look at and see, do we need to make sure we're doing these things now instead of waiting, we'll do these, when we're both retired and go on and do that.
That's been a big incentive for me too.
Yeah.
I read several years ago, Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Work Week.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that he really focused on, is taking many retirements along the way, MI&I, many.
Yes.
So to do the things you want to do and travel while you can, because when you reach retirement age, that's also the same age when you take more medicines and you just physically can't do stuff as much.
And we're focusing on the age part of guys of a certain age right now.
Right.
But I think that's, and I think that one thing that I've tried to do is, we're always taking pictures with our phone like we always did. Well, that's great and it's wonderful. You'll end up coming back with hundreds of pictures. But what I've started doing is, as we come back, either putting them into a book, ordering a book from Snapfish or somewhere like that, so that we've got a collection of maybe the 20, 30 pictures that really describe the trip, and we'll keep those out on coffee tables, and then we can go back and look at them.
Right.
We don't do that on the phone very much, and we don't set up a slideshow on the phone on the TV to go back and show our pictures. I've done it with a calendar too for Becky, like a shorter trip we took to Charleston. Just did that as a calendar because there weren't quite as many pictures, but we had a great time. It was just a place we'd never been before. And so those memories, like you said, those experiences are to me are much more meaningful, ways to do things. Like you said, you probably do want to get some kind of little souvenir, be it a T-shirt.
Yeah.
We've got some T-shirts from where Drew is, and so you've got that to remember things about, or a concert if you go to that.
Right.
Yeah. But same thing. People that I've seen that we've talked about, who would we still want to see, that's out there touring. I've seen Paul McCartney. I've seen James Taylor several times. We're going to see Peter Frampton, which Becky kind of is the bigger fan of Peter Frampton and stuff. I like his stuff, and I'm looking forward to see him. I'm going to go just because he's an excellent guitar player, and I can't wait to see him guitar. Sure. It's like I'm not going to go. But no, Becky, go. You go that way. So, but yeah, so we'll do that. We saw America a few years ago in in Nashville, and also saw the Rolling Stones in Nashville. And both of those are experiences that, bands that we both liked, that both were great, even as advanced in age as they are. Great shows. And again, those are things that we go, oh, this is something we might not have done, otherwise. We think, oh, we can't afford to go, which, we got a really nice deal on Rolling Stone tickets. I think they were free. But so, I think it's important to kind of carve those things out and think this is something that is important to do.
Yeah. And these are just a couple things I picked up. This is not a Have a Better Marriage podcast, but I did read at one point that having little getaways, like going to a concert, because we usually spend the night somewhere. I mean, but having those little getaways to look forward to, were actually good for your marriage.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then I was actually listening. Speaking of Tim Ferriss, I was listening to Cal Newport, who is the deep work guy. He was interviewing Tim on a podcast I was listening to this morning. It just came out because Tim has developed a card game. But anyway, so he was talking about the importance of play.
Yes.
And I would put this in the same kind of category. And he, I hope I get this quote right, but basically he says, play feeds productivity.
Oh, I agree.
So again, this is not a productivity podcast, but it made me really think, okay, these little getaways that we're doing, not hopefully are good for our marriage as well, but are also, as long as I don't plan too many, they're good for our marriage.
Yeah.
But
good point.
But I know when I get away like that and can just relax.
If you allow yourself to really get away, I have trouble vacating, is what I said, because I usually will sit there and check emails and stuff, and you really have to be intentional and not doing that. Whether you're gone for a long weekend or whether you're gone for the full week, it's everything's going to be there when you get back, and to recharge, to resist burnout, you have to allow yourself the ability to truly get away. And I know not everybody can do that, but there are small trips. There are things you can do. There are things you can do that, a day's drive, or that you can get to and back in a day. And
well, that's what we do. I mean, we'll take some longer trips as well, but both of our jobs being in healthcare, we have to negotiate time off, and I mean, we have time off, but it's not as easy as, we can't just say I'm taking this week.
Right, like
we have to get coverage.
Yes,
and so it's been a little more of a challenge in that role to take long vacations, but we've taken a cruise, and and we talked about this cruise before, in the Gaither cruise to Alaska. That was, to me, an experience. It was not just I came away with a little bit of merch, but mostly I have the memories of meeting all these people.
So you say the action figures and the cards and stuff are no more?
No, they're around. They're around. Because they have, I was thinking about all that, because what I collect now, the action figures are archives. Not really actively collecting those now. But lately I've been getting these Kinder eggs with the DC toys inside it. And so, that's been kind of a fun little thing, but they're small. Yeah. And when I go on,
so the life-size doll is definitely not happening.
No, definitely not. No. No. But and we've talked about this before. When I go on these trips, my goal is to find the pressed pennies that are in the locations.
You have told that,
so, that's a few dollars, and I come home with this little Ziploc bag full of pennies, which don't take up any space, but have a lot of meaning to me as to the trip. And people will sometimes bring me pennies from their trips.
Okay.
And, Jacob and Lindsay have brought me stuff. Laura and Charlie have brought me stuff. So it's and even random people have said, "Oh, hey, I remember you're into pennies. I found this in
that's going to be something in 10 years. People aren't going to know what you're talking about, because pennies aren't going to be around
That's
anymore.
true. I need to stock up now.
That's right.
While I could do it. But another thing that a specific adventure experience I had one time was, I lived in North Carolina. This would have been 20 years ago at least. But living in North Carolina, you have to declare your NASCAR allegiance.
Okay, yeah.
Right? You got to be. Well, it used to be Ford or Chevy. Now there's Toyota and maybe others. But, you had to pick a driver. You had to pick a car. And I was just in the thick of it, really got into it, went to some races.
And who was your driver?
Mine was Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, okay. I thought you said that before.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon. So in the midst of all that, my kids' family one year for my birthday gave me the NASCAR, I think it was a Richard Petty driving experience.
Wow.
So I didn't drive because that's a lot more expensive. But you can take a few hours and train and learn you can actually drive the car yourself. I got the ride along.
Yeah.
So basically, I just got.
I think the sidekick mystery is solved.
So true. So I got the affordable experience as a sidekick, but that was still amazing to be in a car zipping up on those high walls and going however fast we were going, 180 or something. Yeah. And it was an amazing experience that I will never forget.
Yeah, and see, I don't think I'd even want to be in the car. So I don't know what that makes me. That makes me like the.
So I've got I've got a bunch of NASCAR memorabilia too.
Yeah,
but it doesn't compare. It links me to that experience.
Yes, I'm Alfred.
You're Alfred.
Yeah,
I think we have nailed it. We have nailed it. But anyway, I'm. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts.
Yeah, that's good.
I
think there's some, like you said, there's some good advice for those of us of a certain age, and that first of all, don't wait. You know, go ahead and try to do these things. Like I said, many retirements, many vacations. Go ahead and take probably a longer vacation. I know some people will take 2 weeks. I've never been able to do that, but.
Well, they say that for some people, it takes, depending on your work, it takes you a few days to wind down.
No, usually if I go somewhere, like we go to the beach, and I feel like I've ruined family vacations plenty of times because I can't separate myself from work until about Thursday or Friday, and then we're packing up and coming home the next day. So, yeah, it takes me a while to, and I'm trying to do better about that. I've gotten better about that. I think when we went to up to see Drew in Washington, that I was able to say, okay, because looking back, I realized that I missed so much. I was there, but I was present without being present, and so that's and you can't get that back.
Yeah, and concerts are good for that because it's. I mean, you could look at your phone. The phone messes up everything.
But that's a good point. Yeah, because either you're driving to the thing, or you're at a show that really you want to leave your phone off
and probably paid. I mean, you might take a picture or record a clip of a song or whatever. But yeah, I came for the music,
right,
and the experience, and I've got my phone because I want to share it with others. But I am not scrolling while James Taylor's singing "You Got a Friend."
No,
and the thing is, going back to all of us aging. I mean, James Taylor is definitely a guy of a certain age.
Oh yeah,
and I was listening. The group that is going to open for him is called Tiny Habits, and they're two girls and a guy, not a pizza place, but it's pretty much acoustic, a cappella and a guitar. I mean, I've seen both.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's not a cappella and a guitar because that would be opposite. But they
a cappella group with a full band, by
right. So they're very like tight harmony kind of stuff, and so there was a clip of them because I said the word James Taylor. Now my phone is just full of it. So I guess they sing a song with him.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do.
And I can't remember what the song was, but his voice cracked a little.
Yeah,
Well, that's what. So I was just affirmed that I needed to do this.
Paul McCartney is touring again, but when I've heard him, his voice is pretty much is certainly not what it was, and he had an incredible voice, but it's not there anymore. I saw him 30-something years ago in Memphis. Great show, and I don't necessarily have to see him again. James Taylor I've seen several times. James Taylor's always been good. The last time we saw him was in Tupelo, and that's been several years ago. And the people behind us would not stop talking very loud, and didn't care anything about being at the show. And I had to, finally turn around and say, hey, look, some of us want to hear the show. And it still didn't keep him. So it's like, I don't know if I want to do the concert experience again because of that. But he was great. And, of course, knew every song he sang. So it was really good.
So a buddy of mine, we were talking about this the other day, and he said that, seeing James Taylor under the stars was just something everybody should do. So it looks like it's going to be good weather.
Yeah, that'd be really good. That'd be really good.
So good deal. So, all right. Well, this is fun. So, yeah, this has been kind of the perfect storm of fall because I'm also going to see an Ole Miss game. And
What game are you going to? Tulane game? Okay.
Yeah. So that's in a couple weekends. And
I may still try to go to that game.
So busy fall. Busy
Yeah.
fall. But a lot of memories to be made.
Good. That's great. Well, that's exciting stuff.
All right.
And I guess Robbie's making memories now.
Yes, of some sort.
Yeah, I think they're work memories.
We'll hear about it.
All right.
All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.